With scholarships being all the more necessary and yet getting a little bit more competitive, we want to make sure that you all have the most information, the best information at your fingertips. Now, you might be someone who likes to physically have a book in your hands and flip through the tips and suggestions, which I totally get. And so if you are one of those people, if you're trying to help your students secure scholarships for college and you want the best books that you can refer to for the scholarship process, then I've got you covered in this video. I'm going to share 6 of my favorite books when it comes to paying for college and the scholarship process. They each kind of have their own twist, and they each have their own reason for being a helpful resource. So I will explain what you can expect from each of them, and we will link to all of them in the description below as well. Now, make sure you hit subscribe because every week we have a new strategy for you to help your student work towards that debt-free degree. Hey there, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System and Debt-Free Degree Lab, are 2 programs that families have used across the nation to secure debt-free degrees or drastically reduce the amount that they pay for college. In fact, to date, our families have secured well over $13 million in scholarships. So this is our bread and butter. We know this topic inside and out. Now, just a quick note, this is focused on U.S. citizens and permanent residents, not international students. Now, before I get into the list, I just want to talk about the importance of scholarship books or how they can be helpful. And of course, there will be some general tips that you will see repeated throughout each of these, but really some of these books can help students find scholarships that are not even listed online, which sounds crazy, especially in today's day, but it is still possible. Also, some of these books, for example, one of them I'm going to talk about has lots of tables and checklists within it so that if your student wants something physical to fill out, that could be something that's helpful to them. So I'll explain this by each book, but just wanted to give an overview that each of these will be different in their own right. So the first one is the scholarship system. Okay, of course, this is going to be on this list. 6 simple steps to quickly securing scholarships and financial aid so that your student can graduate debt-free. This is a comprehensive roadmap to scholarships. Okay, it's broken into 6 steps. Very easy to follow through. It's implementable. It's not just a ton of advice thrown out in random order. It's actually a step-by-step process. And like I showed you before, there are actual things to fill out in the book. So there are tables throughout the entire thing. You can see here as well, so that you and your student can actually implement it as you go. The cool thing is that this is actually our new and updated 2nd edition. And one of the things that we added in here are a lot of family stories. So we've been doing this for a decade now. We have helped families, like I mentioned, secure over $13 million, which is a lot. And so now this new edition isn't just focused on my own story of securing 6 figures, but how tons of other families have as well. So straight from their stories, their way that they've implemented these strategies. One of the biggest things is it will help you and your student identify legitimate scholarships versus scams, how to find ones that are less competitive versus more. And there's tons of stuff in there around essay writing tips, because that is one of the most important aspects, is that essay, that story that your student is going to tell. And the thing that I love about our 3-step writing method is that even students who hate writing, including myself, can use it to write incredible essays. Okay, so that's number 1. And again, we'll link to all of these in the description below. Number 2 is the Ultimate Scholarship Book. This has billions of dollars in scholarships, grants, and prizes. It is really, really thick. You could knock someone out with this book. A lot of libraries will have this on hand, so I do recommend students going to their school's library and asking for this, and then you can avoid paying and buying a copy. The other thing that we can do is we can go back maybe a year or 2, and most of it will be the same. We don't necessarily have to have the newest edition, although of course there might be some changes, but that can be another way to save on this book. So a new edition comes out every single year. It typically has over 300 new listings each year, so there is a benefit there. But that said, the majority of them will be consistent. The third one is the Foundation for Individuals. This one's a little less known, but it's very similar to the previous one, where it is a book of grants. Now, they have over 3,800 grants listed in here, and we've actually found families that have used this to find money that was not listed online. Again, this will take sifting, and that's why in our scholarship system book, we have a way of using Google to find the ones that are online that are less popular. But for those really willing to hunt for the money, these two books, finding that money that's not listed online is a huge advantage. So just think, if it's not on fastweb.com or these big scholarship search engines, the amount of competition is going to be pretty slim. The next one is Peterson's Scholarships, Grants, and Prizes. This has millions of scholarships, grants, and prizes listed in it, and they're categorized so that it can make it easier to find the scholarships that specifically match your student's profile. So those last three are really all non-virtual databases. They're the original lists that students and parents can go through. So again, they will take some sifting. It's definitely not the fastest method, but it's worth a skim. The next one is a book by Ron Lieber, and this is The Price You Pay for College. And this is important to understand because we always explain that the price online is very rarely the price that families truly pay. And so he focuses on really the cost of a college, the true cost of a specific college, different financial aid options, so that you can make an informed decision for one of the most expensive decisions actually in your life, and for sure in your student's life up until this point. It has insights on why colleges charge what they charge, and really breaks down the financial complexities of a college education. The last one is actually by Anthony O'Neill. He partnered up with Dave Ramsey and wrote Debt Free Degree, a step-by-step guide to getting your student through college without student loans. So this is similar to our program, Debt Free Degree Lab, but he still has, of course, his own unique perspective of it, and has practical tips on how to get college debt free, has step-by-step guides for parents and students around scholarships, grants, financial aid. He really emphasizes the importance, though, of planning ahead and making informed financial decisions, which of course anyone that partners with Dave Ramsey is definitely going to stress that. And he talks about finding affordable schools, really maximizing and understanding those financial aid packages, and avoiding student debt. We all know that Dave Ramsey is very anti-debt, and of course we are as well, especially when it comes to student loans. It's why we give all of these strategies here for your family to avoid that student loan debt, especially decades of it. So I love that that is an aspect of this book. Now, that said, of course, if you are a physical book kind of person, then hopefully this list is helpful. But most of us have some kind of online resource, like what you're watching right now, to help deliver the same information in different methods. So we have, of course, our YouTube channel at The Scholarship System. We have our blog at thescholarshipsystem.com. We also have a free webinar where I break down the beginning tips of the scholarship system and really get your feet wet and help you understand overall what to look for when it comes to finding legitimate scholarships with less competition. So if you want to attend that webinar, it's only 1 hour long, so it's just an hour, but you go to thescholarshipsystem.com/free webinar. Again, we will link to that in the description, or you can click the video here. But that is a great way to go, where you can listen to it, you can see the visuals, and you don't have to read a book. We also, of course, have our online course, which you can find more about in the description below, where it's the entire book, but in much more in-depth, with workbooks, worksheets, tools, cheat sheets, really the whole shebang when it comes to walking a family through the scholarship process. So these physical books are fantastic. They're a great start. Online resources are just the cherry on top. So however you want to do it, you can combine all these amazing resources to help your student through a debt-free degree. Now, comment below, was there any scholarship book or college book that you enjoyed, even if it's not necessarily around paying for college, but maybe admissions? If you loved it, share it below. I'd love to share that with our audience. I want to make sure that everyone's aware of the great resources that are out there. Okay, so that said, navigating paying for college, we know it's crazy. It's overwhelming. That's why all of us are doing what we are doing with helping your family figure this out. Make sure you hit subscribe, because every week we have a new strategy for you to work towards that debt-free degree. But I hope that you enjoyed this list of actual books that you can buy to help your student work towards that. I'll see you in the next video.